Hey guys, DSKxMonkey here, back again with another episode of my Runecrafting Mage only account. In today's episode, I plan on getting 75 attack, but first we need to get 55 Slayer in order to efficiently train my attack levels outside of questing rewards. We even managed to get some new best in slot items along the way, so sit back and enjoy the show. So as you can tell from the last clip, we're trying to complete a bunch of quests that give out attack experience rewards at the end of them. It will definitely boost up our attack levels significantly because you do not realize how slow my attack training method will be. We completed the vampire quest, the fight arena quest, as well as the mountain daughter quest. I then started completing the Fairy Tale Part 1 quest requirements, starting with the Relentless Ghost, which actually gives a ton of prayer EXP, which is going to be helpful for our long 77 prayer journey. So now that I completed the Relentless Ghost quest, the next quest that was up was Nature Spirit. This quest actually gave me a little bit of trouble because I was in the wrong spell book. So I figured it was time to test our staff combat style against monsters, and it was very slow, but we got the job done. And this also cemented the reason why I might have to train strength, but we'll talk about that later down the line. Each ghost took around 3 minutes to kill, but we finally completed the Nature Spirit quest. During the final phase of the Fairy Tale Part 1 quest, I realized that I could never damage Tanglefoot with only 1 strength. So I decided to postpone the quest, and yes, I know that magic secateurs are not staffs, so I shouldn't even be able to complete this quest in the first place, but they're called magic secateurs for a reason, so I made a tiny exception to my rules to allow this quest to be completed, since I also want to complete Fairy Tale Part 2 quest later, and these secateurs actually help us in the farming grind. So I definitely like farming, so I'll allow them. With that small quest fail, I sidetracked a tiny bit from leveling up my attack and went to the Nightmare Zone with a bunch of prayer potions and prayer bonus gear. The reason why I decided to come over here was because I wanted to train a little bit of magic, defense, hit points, and combat levels, since we were real close to 70 magic in order to wear the occult necklace. The occult necklace will actually boost our magic damage significantly, so since we are already level 69 magic, we might as well level it up one more time for that new best in slot item. So not only is 70 magic our goal here, but also gaining a few combat levels along the way in order to get a better Slayer Master for our Slayer tasks. Now that we finished training a bit, I went back to questing. I wanted to complete the quests that gave Slayer EXP as reward because I dislike the low Slayer grinds, honestly. But of course, these quests are locked behind other quests, so I first had to complete the Sea Slug quest, the fishing contest, and not only that, but I had to kill the Ice Queen for her ice gloves to finally complete the Mountain Dwarf quest from the Recipe for Disaster storyline in order to get 1k juicy Slayer EXP. As I kept questing, I also found out that we can actually kill the Sour Hogs with magic, even though the wiki made it seem that magic wasn't viable or possible during the quest. So I'm glad I tried it out before going the melee route, aka using a staff to kill this Sour Hog. It wouldn't have been fun at all. But regardless, a porcine of interest was completed, which netted me a free 1000 Slayer EXP as well as 30 Slayer reward points, which is honestly amazing. I really love this new quest. I've never done it before, so it was definitely a good thing to see at the end. So now that we got some quests out of the way, we finally got to training Slayer. I had to train under Vanica until I could reach level 75 combat to switch towards Konar, because Konar is my favorite Slayer Master out of all of them. But it wasn't too bad. He treated us right with some high level monsters. And not only that, but he even gave us a Blue Dragon's task, which you guys should know by now I love to kill for money. But before I keep forgetting, let's finally buy the occult necklace, which is honestly extremely cheap, and of course people are always merching it even though it's super fucking cheap. I'll never understand, but hey man, people gotta gain their money somehow, I guess. And the occult necklace is also way better than my third age amulet goal. I don't even know why the fuck I'm gonna get the third age amulet. Maybe I won't, spoilers, but yeah. Good upgrade right here. I also killed the Moss Giant free-to-play boss called Bryophyta, I believe, just for fun because it doesn't really break the magic only rule. I can kill the minions just by right-clicking use on my axe when they're low HP, and that just kills them. You don't even have to equip your axe, which is nice. And unfortunately, I didn't really get the most expensive drop it can drop. Obviously it is a rare after all, but it was just a little fun thing to do while I was doing Slayer. After that slight bossing content, I bought 2 more new best in slot upgrades. I first bought the Infinity Boots, which will be the best until I get 75 defense for the Eternal Boots upgrade. And the second item was the Mage's Book, which is also a second best in slot item. Unless you're a 1 defense pure, it's the best, but for me, it's right behind the Arcane Spirit Shield. These 2 new items will increase our magic offense for sure. As I kept doing Slayer, I realized that maybe I should start training my construction up as a quality of life thing. I completed the Daddy's Home quest in order to get some free construction EXP, and I also invested a bit of my money in order to get all the way up to level 50 using the Oak Larder method. With this level, I am finally able to teleport to my own house in order to recharge my prayer, as well as having a few teleportation methods like the Mounted Glory and Portal teleports. Although I wanted to keep training my Slayer, I ended up getting pretty busy at this time. This made me want to finally start some of my blood rune crafting because of how AFK it is in general, because no matter how busy I can get, this is one of those grinds that can just be done on the side and even on my mobile device, which is neat. The shooting star update wasn't even that new either, so we got pretty surprised by one landing here. Once I started crafting blood runes, I just knew I wouldn't stop for a while, but I never thought it would lead me all the way up to 92 rune crafting. I started at level 77, by the way, and the last clip I recorded before this one was 18 days ago, which is pretty funny. So of course, with the ability to do double nature runes, I decided to do a few runs. I stopped after a while, however, because it just wasn't too fun. I think I'll end up leveling up my construction to level 70 or higher in order to get one of those rejuvenation pools in order to keep my run energy up. I just don't really like using staminas because it's super click intensive alongside the rune pouches and stuff when you're banking. And since I don't use rune light, it's just not easy escape, you know. I can't just switch everything to one left click, you know what I mean? No hate, just a little joke, With all the rune crafting out of my system, I decided to buy even more best in slot items with all the money we made from it. Blood runes and double nature runes are definitely some of the highest money making methods out there if you're able to push through the lengthy rune crafting grinds. I highly recommend it to people. At least get to 77 for blood runes if you're low on money. It's super AFK and super good. But yeah, here we are. The full Infinity Robe set has been bought. I've never had this piece of gear in my life, honestly, and it's definitely a classic mage outfit. So with my newfound gear, I thought I could switch over to Neve as my Slayer Master with 70 combat for some reason. And in my embarrassment, I went all the way to Chelder in order to continue my Slayer grind. As I was selling some of my loot from Slayer, I found out that the Tormented Bracelet was a lot cheaper than usual. So you already know I had to snag it even though I couldn't even use it, because what if it gets to an even higher price? That's gonna suck. Might as well buy it while it's cheap. And that also means I have officially unlocked the best in-slot bracelet once I'm able to equip it. Oh, and I don't know if I forgot to mention this, but I've been training with the blood runes I crafted that I didn't sell for money. I'm getting a lot of good experience through the use of blood spells, but it just always hurts my soul a little bit because technically I'm using very expensive spells for Slayer grinds, even on like shitty monsters. So yeah, it hurts, but these runes were technically free because I crafted them, so I'm not really losing any money. But you know, in my eyes, and I bet in your eyes, I'm like just burning through my cash stack using these blood runes. But anyways, I finally got to level 75 magic, which means I have unlocked the strongest spell available to me, the Fire Wave. I'm not gonna lie, boys, if I didn't get sidetracked so much, we would have reached level 55 Slayer a lot sooner. But even though we sidetracked a bunch, all those grinds were honestly necessary and helped us to finally achieve our goal. We can finally train our attack all the way to level 75 thanks to the Slayer Staff. But before we get to training our attack levels, I gotta buy some best in slot strength gear, because why not? We got all the money, we might as well just buy the best gear we can at the time, and whatever is available to us in terms of like stat limitations or maybe even money limitations, because honestly I'm not gonna fucking buy Vandals right now, and I don't even think I can equip it at this time. Anyways, we're looking like an absolute boss, or you know, I'm actually rocking that bot training gear look as well, if you want to put it that way. But hey, I look good, man. And like always, we gotta first do some quests. I completed the Demon Slayer quest in order to get enough kudos to complete the Bon Voyage quest, which also unlocks Fossil Island Ammonite crabs. Turns out I didn't really like the Ammonite crabs, so I went over to Karen to train on the sand crabs instead. It was a lot more chill and easier here because they had lower HP. So killing them once in a while felt like I was progressing a lot more than the Ammonite crabs who just respawn, since I can't even kill one of them on time. So that's it wasn't really a big deal, but to me it was just annoying. So I decided to go to the sand crabs instead because of that. Through training attack, however, it made me realize just how bad it was to have one strength. The reason why I never trained strength was because I was still under the preconception of a mage only account, but the truth is that I was never a regular mage only account to begin with. My twist on this account from the very beginning was to be able to use staffs as my melee option. Coming to realize that my max hit with a toxic Staff of the Dead would be around a 3, even in the best in slot gear and potions, I decided I would just train strength after the 75 attack grind. Now I don't really have a reason to endure the suffering of 6 through 7,000 experience per hour training here, which equals around over 180 hours worth of gameplay. But I did it anyways just to appease anyone who would be against me training strength, since it was one of those things I didn't think of thoroughly. I know people won't be satisfied anyways, but I mean, if you don't care, I hope y'all can just understand that this was just my mistake. I never realized how bad one strength would be regardless of my attack level. So I just hope you all can understand my decision making in this. I really intended to use melee, aka the Staff of the Dead, for some bossing. So if I can only max hit like a 3, it just wouldn't be an efficient way of bossing, and it would ruin my long-term plans. So yeah, that's the decision making behind training strength after this grind. So as you can see in the background, it started with my first day of training here at the sand crabs and then time skipped to me almost reaching 75 attack. This was honestly one of the worst experiences in RuneScape I have ever faced, and I don't think I even want to attempt the 75 defense only account anymore if this is how bad training one would be. I'm not sure, by the way, also if buying super strength potions or divine super potions helped at all, but I felt like there was a definite spike in experience per hour as I kept hitting more consistently thanks to my attack levels going even higher. Anyways, without further ado, 75 attack is completed. Get me the fuck out of here. I never want to see sand crabs again. Fuck's sake. I then headed towards the Grand Exchange to buy the Toxic Staff of the Dead. But before I show you guys my best combat staff available to me as far as I know, I wanted you all to see the supplies I bought during the attack grind. I spent around 1.4 mil on potions and food, but since you guys won't be training attack without strength, I'm guessing, I doubt y'all will use this much money on the skill itself. So with the costs out of the way, this is the staff we worked so hard on achieving. It looks fucking insane if you ask me, and I've never had this weapon in my life, so I was honestly really pumped up when I finally bought it. So with being tired of training attack, I went back to the Nightmare Zone to get enough points to imbue my Seer's Ring. Plus, I finally get back to training magic, which is my favorite skill after all, and I missed it a lot. With these points earned, I finally obtained my best in slot ring. Not only did we get another of our best items furthering our goal, but I noticed the Ancestral Hat was dropping in price. I quickly sold some of my blood runes and bought it right away, even though we can't even equip it yet. This purchase, however, just took us one step closer to completing my dream gear, and I'm not even that far off from 65 defense anyways, so it was definitely worth it. By the way, this is proof that I won't get to hit too high regardless of my strength bonus gear if I kept my one strength build. Plus, now that we're going to train my strength levels, it opens us up to completing the Lunar Diplomacy quest, which we stopped from completing on the last episode in order to unlock yet another spell book for us. That's gonna be great. Training strength will be infinitely more worth it for the account. Just trust me on this. Some of you may be wondering, why am I running through the wilderness? Well, I decided it would be beneficial for us to complete the Easy Wilderness Diary in order to obtain the Wilderness Sword. This sword gives us a 100% slash rate on webs, which will be useful when getting the Imbued Mage Arena Cape. Here we have it, quote unquote ruining our one strength build. I even got my first level on the wrong Slayer monster, which was a fail, but it's okay. We will get a lot stronger now that we can actually hit higher than a 2 with this staff, and yes, I do know that I'm using the uncharged version. I don't really want to spend money on the Zora skills for non-boss monsters since I don't really need to inflict venom on them, to be honest. The attack grind also got us over 75 combat if you didn't notice earlier, so I started using Konar as my exclusive Slayer Master since I love this Slayer Master so much. It gets me so much money, and that's honestly all I care about. I don't care about how slow the Slayer EXP is. Anyways, we even got enough Slayer points to buy the Slayer Helmet. With the Slayer Helmet unlocked, we headed back to the Nightmare Zone to gather enough points for the imbued version, which will provide us an extra 15% boost to my magic damage during Slayer tasks. I also ended up deciding to train with the Staff of the Dead here instead of magic because not only do I save on runes, but we also get to get a higher strength level for the future. So it's a win-win for all of us, and not only that, but we achieved 75 HP, with this HP level, we can now equip our best in slot bracelet. Now that I imbued my Slayer helmet, I decided to kill Tangleroot, since I can actually damage him now thanks to having strength levels. And this also means that we have now completed the Fairy Tale Part 1 quest. Thanks to that quest, we then started the beginning of Fairy Tale Part 2 quest up until unlocking the fairy rings, which will be useful for teleporting across RuneScape. This is why I made the exception of the magic secateurs. I think I can safely say that we progressed a ton during this episode, and this wasn't even one of my longest grinds of the account. There are a lot more challenges yet to accomplish, but for now, enjoy me selling my current stack of blood runes. They were at a very good price at the time, and I really wanted the money. I think you guys can guess what's about to happen in the next episode, huh? Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to 90 that like button, and thanks for sticking around, regardless of how slow the uploads are coming out. Peace.